We are back on Get Up, and Luka Doncic has signed a landmark 5-year, $207 million Supermax rookie extension. He's just 22 years old. He became the first player eligible for the designated rookie max because he has twice been voted first-team All-NBA. Flat out spectacular, obviously. And here are some numbers, and we could put up a lot more. He's one of two players to average 25, 7, and 7 through 3 seasons. The other is Oscar Robertson, who's only on the Mount Rushmore of greatest players of all time. And I have heard some people suggesting, as I bring my dear friend, Mr. Jalen Rose, into the conversation, Jalen, no one is just debating how good Luka is. Obviously, he's phenomenal. But I've heard people saying he is the next face of the NBA. When the LeBrons and the KDs and the Stephs move on, that he's the face of the NBA. Do you think he is?
I don't believe so, Greeny. Good morning. And I understand why people say that. As LeBron's getting up there in age, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, those elder statesmen, so to speak, have done their work and they've been, champions. But then there is a next level of young superstars. And while Luka has distinguished himself with his ability to perform and putting up big old type of numbers, ultimately face of the league comes from winning. And when you look at the landscape of young stars in the league, Luka's in the category also with players like Trae Young, Jason Tatum, Spider Mitchell, Devin Booker. The face of the league is going to be designated by winning. And now, who is going to be the face of the league going forward? That guy right there, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the guy that's already been a champion, a Finals MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, back-to-back regular season MVPs. We cannot dismiss the fact that this is going to be Giannis's league for a really long time. So he's definitely my answer to the face of the franchise after LeBron James' question.
I agree with you, and I think part of the reason is there's just a magnetism about him. There are these indefinable qualities that go into that, and I think watching the joy with which he played, all those Instagram videos and all that, that's the next generation of fans, that's the next generation of players, and he embodies that, I think, in a way that a lot of other players do not.
Absolutely, and the purity and the joy that you just acknowledged is all fine and dandy. But what about the flat-out dominance and the way he continues to improve his game? He made 17 of 18 or 19 free throws to close it out, Greeny. He's an improved shooter, an improved player, and also already averaging 30-plus points and 10-plus rebounds at this point of his career. A phenomenal ambassador for the NBA.
Exactly. I mean, globally also, which I think is a piece of this. Okay, but the old guys are saying, not so fast. Let's go to LA, where the Lakers have had a very busy offseason, headlined, of course, by the acquisitions of the comparative youngster, Russell Westbrook, who's only 32, and Carmelo Anthony, who is a lot older than that. Russell yesterday talking about joining his childhood team.
And AD and Bron are friends of mine first. And me being their teammate, my job is to come in and uplift them. And they'll do the same with me, vice versa. As the season prolongs, we will figure it out. There will be ups, there will be downs. That's normal. That's okay. But we will figure out how to play the best way that we want to play to be able to win a championship.
LeBron's going to turn 37 in December.
We don't care.
Dwight's up there. Trevor's up there. Mark Gasol's up there.
Don't care. We make our own narrative.
All right, so Carmelo says the age doesn't matter. For what it's worth, they have 8 players over the age of 32. If they're the oldest team in the league right now, and you see the numbers there, they stand out and they speak for themselves. So, Jalen, it's a pretty simple question. Are the Lakers, who are obviously very talented, are they too old to win the championship?
They are not too old, and I'm on my Aaliyah when I say age ain't nothing but a number. But here's the thing, Greeny. It's going to have its lingering effects. You go back to a regular NBA schedule where the season's going to start in October, and we're going to have 82 games. That means the Lakers won't have the number 1 or the number 2 seed in the West. I think that'll be a team like the Utah Jazz or the Denver Nuggets. That's one of the prices of age. Also, don't anticipate LeBron James playing over 70 to 72 games. Same with Anthony Davis. This is why you bring in Russ, who doesn't actually play his age, and will give them speed. And the Russ influence is going to be paramount, in particular during the regular season. That's whether LeBron is on or off the floor. That's whether he or AD are in or out of the lineup. And so you bring in a guy like Russ, who averaged a triple-double last year and has been outstanding and playing in front of his home fans. He's going to be excited to do. He's going to help you get through the regular season. So once the playoffs start, yes, in the 7-game series, when you can try 5 Hall of Famers out on the floor at the same time, that's going to be great to watch for the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're not too old to not only win the West, but to win it all. The problem is, though, you got to beat the Nets. And if you lose to the Nets, it ain't going to be because you're too old. It's just going to be because they got KD, James Harden, and Kyrie balling.
That's fair. Now, those 5 Hall of Famers, as you correctly point out, are a combined over 150 years of age. I'll actually do some quick math on it because I think it's a fascinating stat. But right now, bottom line, if they're healthy when the playoffs begin, do the Lakers win the championship with this group, if they're healthy?
I'm picking the Nets. This offseason, Giannis was the valedictorian. He won the summer, okay? KD was the salutatorian. He lost to the Bucks in the playoffs, but however, he was outstanding. He went on to win a gold medal, being the only guy to average 20 points in a single Olympics. I think it's Lakers and Nets, and KD is the finals MVP as Brooklyn gets it done next season.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.